Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, August 27th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. The quieter you become, the more you're able to hear. Zen saying. Real truth is that all of us are absolutely outrageous and completely amazing. From the smallest cell in our bodies to the most elaborate computer in the world, our brains, we are honestly magnificent pieces of work. Yet our amazingness doesn't stop with the super psychic, all-intelligent 10 trillion cells in our physical bodies. Our spiritual body is even more amazing. It can travel to distant galaxies in a millisecond, be in two places at once, and attract anything you desire to manifest into your physical world. Understand what that means. Your spiritual body, the God within that body of which you are, is even more amazing. It can travel to distant galaxies in a millisecond, be in two places at once, and attract anything you desire and want with all your mind, body, and heart. You can co-creatively invent anything. And this all-intelligent divine universe that is intimately connected to us will bring it into our physical reality for us. As a divine, supreme, all-powerful manifesting being, we are naturally breathtaking. Now, it's a choice. Take time to get really curious about this. Turn your focus inward every day and begin to recognize the infinite extent and glory of your own divinity. Your mind at first may only be able to perceive a smidgen of your vast, omnipresent, divine magnificence, yet this is perfectly okay. Seeing a small sliver of the incredibleness of who you are is where everyone starts. Allow yourself to accept whatever you find and keep opening yourself to something infinite at your core. There exists peacefulness inside us all. It never falters or changes. It is the effulgence of our true magnificent self. One glimpse is all it takes to permanently alter your perception of reality forever. When you see it, you instantly begin living your everyday life from this continual, expansive, superconscious self. At some point in our past, we believed that we weren't connected to a divine, magnificent source of love, power, and intelligent creativity. We bought into a set of limiting beliefs that simply said, we are not that. And the suffering began. In everyone's journey here, we all fall into this game. We cloud our minds with the illusions that we aren't bright, brilliant, and overflowing with preciousness. We all have turned away many times from the knowing of knowing this powerful, magnificent spiritual essence inside ourselves. So it's a choice to make the commitment to stop paying attention to the recurring thoughts of the mind and refocus instead onto your true infinite nature. It is as much better use of our time. We will be amazed at what we discover. There is nothing wrong with falling from source, for it is this illusionary disconnection which makes the realm of infinite love, peace, and intelligence so sought after. It creates the game of life where we can have experiences, feel like we are evolving, and enlighten our karmic baggage. No matter how many lifetimes where blinding belief patterns have shoved us into the grave, our souls bounce back into the light. In truth, it never left. Those heavily limiting thoughts cannot imprison us in the dungeons of our deepest, darkest mind. In fact, there is nothing powerful enough in this universe that could ever turn off our infinite, true, divine radiance that exists at the core. To begin finding our divine, magnificent self, look to the source of consciousness. This pure, unbounded consciousness permeates everything in this world. Every molecule, atom, and subatomic particle is connecting everything to everyone, especially you. It is impossible to avoid it, for it is within us all the time. By merely focusing on it, we drop into the experience of it and can access this experience of ourselves as divine. Of course, all of our seeming imperfections are sacred, perfect, and holy as well. There are no mistakes in an all-intelligent, loving universe. Just because our mind does not always see ourselves and this universe is perfect does not mean it's not. The magnificence that we imagine is there, is still through the mind. Only when the mind is dropped will we be able to truly see, feel, and know the real divinity within. The whole reason the mind chose to buy into these limiting, cloudy thoughts is so that it can retract and refract the light and give you an alternative experience of reality. We'd never know how incredibly brilliant our real self actually is unless we had something to compare it with. We simply cannot intimately know our real brightness until we've experienced our darkness. So as souls, we committed to have a large variety of ridiculously challenging experiences so that the journey home is that much more sweet and amazing. It's the only way we can experience the phenomena of a spiritual awakening. Something has to be asleep in order for it to wake up. Something has to be asleep in order for it to wake up. When we simply stop buying into the veils of illusion, thoughts, in our minds, our bright, brilliant lightness instantly comes flooding in again. It's all a divinely perfect design. If and when we have ever had a really bad day, it does not mean for a millisecond that this great brilliance does not exist within us. The mind was simply clouding our divinity momentarily. To unveil our magnificence once and for all means we stop buying into the addiction of the mind. Stop following the trashy thoughts and heavenly thoughts that your mind tantalizes you with. Stop reaching and reacting to all thought. Our minds are most likely deeply programmed with resisting negative thoughts and striving for more positive ones. This continual resistance and striving means we're still living in the land of suffering. We don't have to buy into any thought at all. When fear, anger, and impatience or demanding energy step into the room, watch them closely and don't let them take you. Be the master of your mind by bringing it to a complete halt. Stopping your mind in its tracks will instantly unveil the beauty of your divine magnificence inside. We don't even have to find it. When the mind is totally silent and still, it will find you. That's why we say in meditation, focus on the breath, move into the now, and listen. Feel. And it will come in. Perhaps the greatest discovery of all is when we accidentally begin abiding at the very still, silent center of our innermost being, where our spiritual bodies reside. Just close your eyes and release all the mind chatter right now. Feel what's happening within your innermost being. Notice the magical feeling and essence of what is there. Now, this journey within into the infinite realm of our inner universe is the discovery of our divinity. It is a natural process that happens merely by looking inwards. When we consciously engage our attention with the divine all-intelligent energy that is within us and every atom in this universe, we will find that we manifest our desires effortlessly and easily all the time. The physical world is not so physical when we abide in this deeper spiritual energy body. We begin seeing through the apparent solidity of things, and people become more fluid, changeable, and free. This magical divinity is always within us. It's simply a matter of seeing it. By pointing our attention inside, we will eventually find the great divinity within. It's not a complicated or extravagant search. It's closer to us than our next thought and heartbeat. Now, we may start seeking it 1 foot below our neck. For the spiritual core of our eternal essence is found within our heart. Not just inside the muscle that pumps blood 24 hours a day, yet everything between your armpits and in your entire chest. This direction keeps us out of the head, out of thinking, and into feeling and being where the infinite awareness resides. A deep looking inwards every day is like excavating a gold mine. Now, we may not strike it rich the first day, yet eventually we will find a vein of solid gold. The essential key to peeling back these layers is the space of allowing. Allowing for what is to be what is. Allowing for what is to be what it is. This, we might say, is more effective than any shovel, pick, or super axe as far as reaching beneath those harder, crustier ego layers, which can block us from entering the field of gold. By allowing our every discovery to be as it is, we are pouring water over it and softening its density. This softening is the very secret that lets us enter that aspect that is divine. The biggest truth, who we are, is that we are both human and divine. There really is no separation between the two when we look at life from these infinite eyes. We cannot have one aspect without the other. These seeming polar opposites are not opposing each other and not in conflict. They are complementing each other. They depend on the other for their own separate existence. The more you focus on the greater truth that there are no opposites in this universe, and the deep illusions of separation are dissolved, and all conflict in our lives disappears forever. Only within a deep state of silence is oneness realized, and only through oneness can our divinity be understood and experienced. This understanding is a continuous process of rediscovering yourself. There is no end to oneness. It is infinite, just like us. The experience of first finding a state of oneness is one of the greatest experiences we can have on this earth. It's like a never-ending piece of chocolate that you get to bite into it again and again and again. With each bite, there is an explosion of bliss, and of course, then digesting and assimilating it. This is what the infinite process is truly like, of discovering our divine magnificence. When we give up the outer search and surrender to looking for the divine within us, we get to let go of all our burdens, problems, and excuses in the outer world. There's no more guilt, betrayal, retribution, or karmic debts to be paid. We simply end all efforting to make things other than what they are. Now, this doesn't mean that we will stop being a vessel of outrageous creativity, love, and enlightening consciousness for this world. Oh no, that's just the opposite. We'll stop being so attached to the way things show up and let our divinity really flow through us. Our lives will naturally and spontaneously create themselves without us getting in the way, trying to fix what seems to be broken. This amazing masterpiece called you effortlessly and naturally unfolds itself, all on its own accord. The seed is already contained within the lotus flower, and the lotus flower is already within the seed. They exist as one simultaneously. Yet, if you force the petals to open faster, the final flowering arrangement won't look so pretty. Stop forcing yourself to be anything other than what you are. You are already 100% divine, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do to lessen, weaken, or change this fact. You also cannot do anything to create more divinity within you. You can just relax a little bit more and allow for more of the light, free, joyful, conscious love to flow through you. And what could be easier than that? At the core of our being, we are like the eternal, ever-shining sun that illuminates this entire world and the cosmos around it. We are radiating our light onto everyone already. Anyone we encounter is touched by it. We can help heal anyone in the world by visualizing and feeling loving, healing energy flowing from the head of our being into that person as if they were standing right in front of us. Each time we do this, our heart opens more and the experience of our divinity becomes stronger within us. When in doubt, always choose to shine your light. Always let others see your brilliance. Allow them to feel the vast, unlimited joy breathing inside you. And you will literally shift out of any stuck energy that you're experiencing. If doubt and fear become too big for you to handle, simply hold the intention to reconnect with that brilliance that is already radiating at the center of your being. Trust it is there, and it will soon come to you. Simply close your eyes and get present to the stillness within. Only a few minutes of total stillness, silence of mind every day will do the trick with ease. Relax and breathe. There is nothing more potent and powerful than this. Relax and breathe. This is the lifetime which we have been waiting many lifetimes to have. We do not need to seek any further. We all have arrived. We always have been, will always be this amazing divine being. It's simply a matter of fully realizing the truth, and surrendering to it is the best way to merge. As we feel this truth inside of us, we begin to radiate our true divinity to others. Everyone will begin to feel this vibration inside us, and thus can find it within themselves. Unconsciously, they will all join us in this same vibrational field, unconsciously. Our divine, magnificent self will act like a match that reignites the magnificence within each being. The energy and vibration of divinity is highly contagious and instantly seeps into everyone around you. By simply living your life and expressing your most natural self, you inherit divine magnificence. Your inherent divine magnificence catalyzes and ignites the fire within the lives of each person you meet. It really is time to throw away our curtains and stop pretending that we are small and powerless. This never was true. Never, ever, ever, ever was true. Even in the midst of our darkest hour, we have always played this game of being disconnected from the God source. Yet who we truly are is shining brighter than our sun. Every morning, midday, and evening, this coming week, or start it now, gently focus your awareness onto your heart. Take about 5 to 15 minutes, 3 times a day, to relax your focus and visualize a brilliant, glowing light, brighter than the sun, shining within your heart. Relax into the warmth of this light. Let it soften your heart and being. If the sun is too much to visualize inside you, start with imagining a small burning candle flame. This little flame will remind you that you are a divine and brilliant being of light at the very core. It only takes a smallest flame to light up any dark room. Let your heart be so full of light that it radiates all throughout your body and illuminates every crack and crevice in between your cells. When it fills you completely, see yourself surrounded with a gentle aura of golden light. Your little flame will grow brighter the longer you can do this exercise. Do it 3 times a day for the next 7 days, and you'll be as bright as the sun. Each time you visualize, practice relaxing into the warm, cozy perfection of the light in your heart. Breathe deeply into the body, for this will help your thoughts to liberate you from any past old ego channels. When thoughts arise, gently acknowledge them and refocus back on the light in your heart. Each day, imagine your light is growing stronger and brighter inside your heart, and after 7 days, you will soon feel absolutely light, totally energized, free, with just the smallest of flame inside. This is an incredibly fun way to realize your divinity. We've said in the last several months, it's an amazing time to be alive on this planet. It is a time when many people are realizing their divine nature. And I ask some people, don't you think it's your time as well? We're always looking for something that we want to find. We want to find the right teacher. But I say that you are the right teacher. The right teacher is where and what you are. Person, place, or thing is not the right teacher. Robert Adams. Gather all courage and take a jump. Even the dewdrop slipping from a lotus leaf trembles for a moment, tries to hang on a little more because he can see the ocean. Once he has fallen from the lotus leaf, he's gone. Yes, in a way, you will not be. Just as a dewdrop dissolves into the ocean, you will be gone. But it is not a loss. You will be oceanic. And all other oceans are limited. The ocean of existence is unlimited ocean. It can be as a warning to all of us, small warning, to anyone who begins the spiritual path. It can be quite challenging to just choose to step out of your old self and into this experience of being one with the ocean, because everyone around you won't agree or understand what you're going through. We have learned to lean on this society for an understanding of who and what we are. Collectively, we humans have spent the past 3,000 plus years attempting to reconnect with this oneness through religion, because we have completely forgotten that we are already permanently connected to the God source. I guess you could say that we have spiritual amnesia caused by a societal mind that was buried underneath the illusion that we are like swine when in truth we are divine. Seeing through this great misunderstanding, we can be liberated from our collective consciousness. We can be free from all suffering, just like how the great masters have done through the ages. This collective awakening is part of the greater plan for our planet's spiritual evolution. As long as this belief in separation is the main way this society operates, we must choose, each of us, each rebel against the norm if we are ever to find spiritual freedom. The belief system that we are not one being is the main reason why there is still war, poverty, environmental destruction on this planet. The belief system that we are not one being is the main reason why there is still war, poverty, and environmental destruction on this planet, amongst other things. There still remains a belief that we are disconnected. And this belief, look around, is always being projected, emanating from everybody's mind around you. What everyone believes you are most likely becomes what you believe is true as well. It's safe to say that every single one of us that we have met in life, in this life, has been overly identified with this idea of a separate self, ego, and most likely will fight for upholding the belief in our separation until the very end, and we leave these bodies. It takes a very clear mind, a courageous heart, and a determined soul to break free from the matrix of illusions the society is casting over our eyes. Observe the mind when thoughts come. Ask, to whom do these thoughts come to? Always watch, witness, and observe. Do not get caught in the thought. Just surrender. Barbara. For us to be free from societal programming, we must choose first to be free from our egos. For our ego to even exist at all, it must hold firm onto some belief in its separate nature. If it doesn't do this, it will feel very lost, confused, and afraid, and eventually give up. The ego must believe that it is a separate somebody rather than an omnipresent nobody. It's been trained to believe it is a drop of water and not the entire ocean as well. This individuated approach to life has a great payoff of creating a feeling of power, control, and direction in this life. Without the ego, we might believe that all our outcomes and manifestations show up because we are the universe. And the universe is making everything happen. Without the ego, we would only have a feeling of love, abundance, true empowerment, and real inner peace in this life. What a difference, right? The greatest truth that you will find is going to be the one that liberates us from this limited, contracted mind ego. The truth that frees our spirit is the one that brings forth the deepest feeling of joy into the lives of everyone around us. This truth is found from intimately knowing our real self, our permanent, unbounded, infinite spiritual nature. Only from exploring what it feels like to be at one with the ocean of life can we be free. This exploration is what leads us to find full self-realization and true liberation in the end. Relax into this idea and feeling that you are separate from the universe right now. Rest deeply into the feeling that you are not at the core of the God source right now. Start with becoming very curious about this idea. Feel into what it actually means until you make friends with it. Now, the goal would be to let yourself completely melt into the feeling of separation and have zero resistance to it. With a little practice, you might discover what it's like to be connected within your experience of separation. The most healing, loving, magical, empowering source in this universe is in everything. So it's also in this experience of separation. The more we can relax into it, the more we will open our hearts and quiet our minds to find that the experience of deep separation dissolves itself naturally on its own accord. Within the core of separation, we will discover the most profound, powerful, unstoppable, and intimate direct connection to this pure channel of intelligent, conscious energy that breathes our very core. So just dive into the deepest root of all your problems, faults, self-criticisms, and personal issues. These are where we feel the most separate and disturbed. Don't wait until it's the right time to do it. Just relax into them every day, whenever and wherever you are. Make it the number one priority of your life to find this loving divine connection that is already here. Trust that it's already here, even if you cannot find it right away. Act as if you are being held like a newborn baby in the most loving, caring mother's arms by simply resting in this feeling of separation, and you will make amazing progress on your spiritual path in a matter of minutes. You are the supreme being, and yet thinking yourself to be separate from it, you strive to become united with it. What is stranger than this? Ramana Maharishi. You are the supreme being, all of us, and yet thinking ourselves to be separate from it, we strive to become unified with it. Once any of us begins our spiritual path, there is this feeling that who we are is more unreal than real. And what I mean by this is that it can be shocking to discover that what we thought we were our entire lives is not real. We truly have no clue as to who and what we really are. We are that which is beyond what the mind can understand. We are like the infinite edges of the most massive movie screen you can imagine, which has no end to the colorful creative possibilities it could contain. Our freedom comes from knowing our undefinable nature. When we realize that we are more like a blank, multi-dimensional creative canvas and not all the scenes and stories from the grand film, something inside of us feels very vast and free. So we sit back. We take a good look at our lives. We take one evening to investigate all the wonderful, horrific, typical, unusual, and peak states from our lives. Notice if they sum up everything about who and what we are. Is there anything more than this? Ask yourself, what is my real self? Who am I without all these experiences? Do I still exist without these memories? And if so, what exactly is that? Our real self is beyond the greatest mystery anyone could explore. We are much more amazing and magical than this separated mind ego. We are bigger than all the life experiences that are projected onto us and into us. We are all so much more than the pure witness, awareness, and consciousness. We are the totality of it all. We are that which life gets to play, dance, and sing of itself through the separate, limited, suffering self as a comfortable habit. One that can be dropped by simply knowing how to stop identifying with it. You are neither consciousness nor its content. You are the timeless source, the supreme reality. Trust that. Nisargadatta. So the discovery of the real self is a profound spiritual exploration. The realization of who we truly are is a timeless experience that eventually becomes the death of our ego and the beginning of real freedom. Ironically, it is our deepest, innermost battle for freedom, our resistance to total surrender, that perpetuates the ego. When we stop fighting, we begin clearly seeing. The truth is revealed when there is no more need to push, pull, prove, or fight for anything. When we stop the struggle against what is, the ego's clouded existence drops and something greater enlightens our way. As long as we continue to pursue this life, thinking we are only a separate being, limited in power, love, abundance, and self-expression, we will get attached to goals, thinking that will make us happy. We will get attached to goals, thinking they will make us happy. Be very careful not to think that these limited ideas have anything to do with who you are. The concepts of ownership, my life, my body, my thoughts, my stuff, my reality, and my mind are the only thing perpetuating our human experiences of suffering. When you drop these ideas and see what is left, nothing is actually yours, and everything is yours when you realize your real self. There is nothing more, and there is no more need for the feeling of possession when you see that we are infinite spiritual beings already intimately connected to everything. Why would we need to attain something when we already feel connected with it? Desires only from out of separation. When we sit and meditate on who we are, looking deep within inside ourselves, eventually the mind will become quiet. When this occurs, we experience the truth that we are eternal beings filled with great love, magic, and lightness. By knowing this inside, we naturally start living it. We really don't have to be afraid of letting go and trusting our real self. The one source will move us, guide us, shape our minds to reconnect with the hearts and souls of everyone. Living from this space, we finally reach a sense of peace with everything in our lives. Every day we wake up and begin practicing being as vast and unlimited as the great infinite universe we are surrounded by. By playing an active role in this life, living out this realization in the sea of people around us, and something dawns on us that we are truly free. When we see this world clearly, that everything is an expression of you, the real self, you stop hearing what you don't want to hear. You stop seeing what you don't care to see. And you stop feeling what you don't care to feel. Your mind is only fixated on the brilliant diamond of consciousness that it's found. You realize that the world is your mirror. Everyone is always reflecting back to you who you are. If you see an unhappy person, that person is inside you. When you're truly enlightened, the experience of the divine awakening, being, begins showing up in everyone in the most interesting ways. You are in an ever-flowing river of gratitude all day long. So become courageous on this path. Take the risk to meditate. Quiet your mind all day long. I'm not talking about meditating all day long. I'm talking about meditate and quiet your mind all day long. And soon, you'll come to know that what it means to be self-realized. Remember to love yourself. Worship yourself. Pray to yourself. Devote your life to yourself. Find joy in yourself because God dwells in you as you. Robert Adams. Remember to love yourself, worship yourself, pray to yourself, devote your life to yourself. Find joy in yourself because God dwells in you as you. Now here's something you can have fun with. You take about 15 minutes. Hold an intention to move down out of your head and relax into your heart. Hold an intention to move down out of your head and relax into your heart. Now remember, your head will be sneaky and try to take over many, many, many times. Yet just bring your energy into your heart space. Imagine your heart is your favorite flower opening its petals up to the great sun. Feel the light entering your heart. It is melting any walls you have inside around feeling love. Now pick one person in your past who you're not 100% at peace with. Let these warm walls around your heart melt away and merge with the heart of this person. 2. Feel the sunlight is also inside their heart. Let go of whatever the mind judges about them. The goal is to be 100% at peace with this person for the rest of your life. When you can do this successfully with one person, do it with everyone from your past. Take this on as an invitation to be at peace with everyone on this planet in the past and future. Practice this and imagine how that will be. Healing simply happens when we are deeply authentic and real with ourselves. When we each stop repressing the truth of who we are and are open with how we are honestly feeling. Our real self receives full permission to come out of hiding. Then it's easy to see the truth. We can easily stop being so invested in the opinions of others. We can no longer hesitate, recoil, and retreat in fear of another's disapproval. It's our choice. if we are ever to be free from the judge inside us who is not okay with others, and they are, and you as you are. There exists a deeper, mature part which can accept everything inside of us. We can stop trying to pretend that we are more adult-like than how we really feel inside. To identify oneself with the body and yet to seek happiness is like attempting to cross a river on the back of an alligator, Ramana Maharishi. Merging is from the highest path any of us can take. Moving into our most enlightened self comes from seeing that everyone is you in disguise. It's up to you to remember who you truly are. With enough meditation practice, there comes this realization that you are in me and I am in you. The divine real self that we all are is impossible not to see. We realize it is everywhere and has no actual boundaries. It is not terrified of intimacy with anyone. It loves letting go, shape-shifting and merging with everyone in this universe. It knows that if you cannot see God in all, you cannot see God at all. I hope all of us can find our real selves. In the midst of a winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer. Albert Henry. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Remain still. Do the opposite of what didn't work before, and believe in the power of silence. And the more you can relax and just be, the more abundance of life's rich experiences you will receive. Take this with you for the rest of the day, evening, and night. Following morning, we will return here Sunday, August 28th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.